You watched the tack? Have you watched the tack video yet? The tack room, Louisa.
No, I've been playing Pac-Man.
Honest to God, it's just amazing. I'm like, I don't have horses, but I think I want a tack room.
Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. How are we feeling today?
We're back.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Do you know what? I'm so annoyed with the rain. And I know, like, maybe by the time people are listening to this, it's not rainy anymore. It probably is, but it is relentless. And so I forget that we're being filmed and I forget that your hair needs to be nice. And northwest rain, I'm over it. So if we can make it to episode 15, can that be in Spain? Like, is that in the budget? Like,
if it's sunny, you'll know we'll
any
be in
sponsors
shorts.
that fancy approaching this program, it's literally to fly us to do it on location. It's not for any commercial benefit. Oh, so yeah, I'm okay, but I'm over this rain.
Let's start a overseas podcast. Sinking fun.
Yeah, done.
Okay, I've got a controversial opinion. Again, not probably controversial in this room.
Yep.
Listeners, maybe. Being frugal will not make you rich.
Not controversial.
Not controversial.
Correct.
Knew it.
Why do you think?
I don't know, it was a big trend, wasn't it? I feel like COVID and lockdown, everyone was like coming out with the frugal tips. Like people had loads of time to be like
The
extra
pennies,
frugal.
the penny
Like
savings.
looking after the pennies, and the pounds will look after themselves. And like there's big trends on TikTok, isn't there? And big like influential people on Instagram and stuff that and YouTube that live a frugal life and want to help people live a frugal life. But one thing I would say from a controversial point of view is it's very much directed at women. Like all these accounts are like, females, listen up. Like if you don't spend this on this, like, I don't know. I'm going to think of a really silly example
Look,
now.
here's if you do this and do that, you do a survey. I mean, this is not frugality, but you could do a survey and you might earn 9p and you're just thinking, oh dear Lord. And
Is that what our time is worth?
yeah. And then like discount hacking. So, you know, if you could.
Coupon programs in America.
Oh my God, you still love
Always
them.
the
I
moms.
love it. And I literally, when you get into the front of the queue
It's
and
stressful.
they go,
We
You
actually
owe
owe you
$3.
money.
Yeah.
Like, do you want a candy bar?
can you?
The stress though, they have the emotional music, like the dramatic music.
Primark and Primark being like, we owe you 4 bobbles. Yeah, right.
But if you think about the comment you made, so being frugal will not make you rich, it's absolutely true, because the biggest thing and the reason why the Financielle budget is done like a P&L, which is a profit and loss account, is because you've got what comes in, which is your income, and then your expenses is what goes out, and the bit that's left over, your excess, is like your profit. So the big problem is you can cut expenses only so far, especially in today's cost of living crisis, especially with inflation still going up, still rising, even though it like the rate's coming down, prices are still going up, which is a little bit confusing, I know. So, I mean, at the moment in the UK, we've got council tax going up, we've got utility bills going up, we've got mobile phone contracts was being chatted about in the community today because a lot of them are linked to the retail price index. And so they've just got a clause in them that says, oh, stuff's going up, so we're increasing your price. Things are going up. So there's only so much you can cut. All of us have probably got a bit of fat we can trim in our budget. Then that's it. So when it comes to being rich or wealthy or being like really financially stable, you need disposable cash to put into things that grow. So that's the whole point about the way we do our budget, is because you don't pay yourself first. Like people say, pay yourself first.
What does that mean? I didn't get what pay yourself
it's
first
actually
means.
quite a privileged way of talking about budgeting. I think it's like a bit of a money bro, like get rich quick kind of concept. The pay yourself first is more, if you don't allocate something for you in kind of like the top bit of your budget, you'll spend it all and then you'll go, I'll just save what's left. And everyone goes, you shouldn't do that, right? The reason we do that, when we're the only brand that talks about budgeting in the way we do, which is what's left over is your excess, is first, it's quite a privileged position to go, oh, there's definitely, I'm going to save £1,000 this month. No idea what my
like
expenses are.
uncalculated decisions.
Just a nice number in your head.
Yeah,
Nice round number.
like, what if there's not enough? What if there's not 1,000? Then where'd you go? It's kind of, so it's teaching someone, just like in business, the other way, which is what are the absolute necessary expenses? What are the nice to haves? What are the sinking funds? And what am I left over with? And then you sit and look at it and go, am I happy with that? Is that okay? As a percentage, and you get your lovely donut like pie chart. as a percentage, like how much of my income is going towards things that grow, which is either paying down debt because it does take you forward. Is it savings? Is it investing? Is it buying property? If that's small, you need to look at yourself and go, I am never going to move forward financially. I'm never going to be rich, like unless you win the lottery. It's not happening because that's the bit of the budget that does it. And so I guess what's more of a controversial opinion is our thing of paying yourself first sucks because people just would give up. They would just, you'd not pay your bills that you need to pay. So that's why
end up relying on credit because you're like, I deserve this amount of money in my savings.
That's so true. I've saved £1,000, but now I'll just put the shopping on the credit card.
Yeah. With the frugal thing, are you going to do that forever? Like every single month of your life, you're going to cut everything to the bone and say no to social events. Like you end up seeing people that go very frugal for a long time being quite insular and they live a life like on social media. They don't necessarily have much going on outside because they're just scared to say yes to stuff because they're like, that's an expense and that money could be going to my savings. And I'm like, well, what's the savings for? Like, what is it that you're doing? It has to be balanced.
You want to like encourage people to think bigger. This is obviously caveated with frugality, maybe a necessity.
Yeah.
But that's not what you said. That's not the comment. So caveat before you come at us, this is not saying that, it's like a nice thing if you don't have to be frugal. Lots of us have to be frugal at different points. And actually, when we do our little no spend challenges and stuff, and you lean into frugality for a little bit, it can sometimes help with the like brain switch about.
Yeah, it's like cycling frugality, like if you can.
Yes.
I think that's a good way to like, okay, these few months of the year are normally quiet. I've got lots of birthdays in June, so I'll have like a quiet May. And that's kind of like the cycle that you follow, like before summer. Just figuring out how it works for you.
You've done a couple of no spend challenges. How did you feel on them? Were you like impressed with yourself that you could be so frugal, and was it that bad?
I think so, and it wasn't bad at all. Like it was
That's no problem.
You like me gearing yourself up.
Yeah, I was like gearing myself up. I'm like, I'm not gonna have anything this month. And I'm like, I'm so lucky, like I've got so much, like I've got a roof over my head. I don't need all of this shit. Like
didn't you used to make a list of things that you wanted to buy?
Yeah, every time I would literally like go in my food shop and I would stray from the list. When I say stray from the list, I don't mean like buying some other food. I'll end up like buying a whole new cutlery set.
Yeah.
For no reason when I've just bought one 2 weeks ago in a different supermarket. Just things like that. And I added it up at the end of the month and I'd be like, this is what I would spend throughout a whole month, like mindlessly.
Yes.
And it makes you realise it's ridiculous.
But to the point of the question, saving that money won't make you rich.
No, it won't make you rich.
What's going to make you rich is upping your income and making sure that there is enough left over to put towards things that grow. And whilst you can enhance that by not getting the extra cutlery sets or whatever, it's not going to move the dial. Actually, we can encourage you to keep be debt free and not have loads of payments going out. All those money going to payments could be going to your investment pot.
Yeah, it's like switching. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's obsessed with rounding their money up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And like people are obsessed with that, but people love spending money in small amounts and it really does add up.
Yeah.
So take that money at the end of every week or every month, invest it
into something, then that can grow and you will see a benefit from it.
Yeah, because people stop at the bargain. That's where they start. They go, I saved or got a discount code. Oh, I've searched around the internet for a discount code on the air fryer. 10 quid.
Yeah.
10 quid. So what?
How long did
spend 3 hours?
But then, what did you do with the 10? You probably bought a delivery and got there. So it's just this kind of, it helps. Like, I love the little phrase, you look after the pennies, you look after the pounds, but I think that's more about being conscious.
Yeah.
So, no, being frugal doesn't make you rich, definitely does help some scenarios.
Okay, I've got a dilemma. I lent my friend money when she was drunk.
Tell me more.
So, 2 months ago, I lent my friend £100 cash. I feel like that's important to know.
So bougie, isn't it now?
Who's carrying £100 cash?
I'd be terrified.
Drug dealers. Who's getting drunk?
I've still €5 in my purse.
How many?
€5.
Oh, God. Watch yourself. I've been walking down the street doing people like when you go when you do the PIN number.
Don't look at me. Elbows out.
I don't take my purse anywhere. Like, I've nowhere to put the cash. If I had the cash, I've not got a pocket. A bra.
My bra's not big enough.
It stresses me out. I'm like, I'm not grown up enough to have this.
£100
Responsibility, isn't it?
All my money's in pots everywhere. If someone was behind me with a cash machine, get £100 cash out now.
I've got
£3.60 in
Wait a
it.
minute, I just need to open my styling and get it out my hair and beauty fund and put it into the main account. And then
to go
even
to my
then,
TV license spot.
even then, I don't know my PIN code for my styling. So nobody, basically, don't rob me because you'll be pissed off.
Wait, tote bag. It's the tote bag. It's like, give me your wallet. Just 1 second. I've got.
It's in here somewhere.
I need a tote bag. We've got a tote bag as well.
Yeah, don't rob me because you're not getting anything. Or if you are, it's going to take a long
It's not
time.
worth the hassle, is it?
I've got no Wi-Fi. Wait a minute. Let me just.
Hold on, can you hotspot me?
Can you hotspot me?
I'll transfer it to everyone. Don't want to touch the cash machine. It's not very
Don't
nice.
request me. I'll send it.
Have you got any hand sanitizer? I don't want to withdraw any cash.
So another thing at the cash machine, I knuckle it.
Yeah, I'm a knuckler. I was about to say my pin on that then.
Do you know how good a sister I am?
Please.
Do you know how good a sister I am? I press the button on a lift.
Yeah.
Like, she's
She
not
holds my
touching.
hand on the escalator because I won't touch the thing.
Don't fall
on
like
to
just
you.
hold me.
Just hold me. Put braces on
Me
me.
and my sister used to fight over who got to push the button on the list.
Yeah, that's the pre-13 and then after it, it's apparently.
Well, we're in our late
Big sister
20s, but okay.
Post-COVID.
Do you leg each other up on the way to it?
Leg each other.
Like just so you can
Like
get there
rugby tackles.
first.
Trip each other. Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, who was drunk? Was someone drunk? Someone's got cash.
Someone's rich and bougie, so let's follow them home.
2 months ago, I lent my friend £100 cash when we were on a night out.
Oh, see, sorry. Now I'm back in the room. I still can't believe that someone needed to borrow 100. Never mind in cash, but like,
I'm a one-drink wonder. I'm so cheap. Like,
that's my drinks budget.
Yeah, £100 on a night out.
Well, can I borrow your money? You're like,
for a meal.
And they're like, champagne sparkles.
okay.
We sat there in the booth like, oh my God, that was my food shop.
So I know that was a food shop. So someone needed 100.
I had that out for my dad's birthday. I was going to put it in a card tomorrow.
That's the only reason we have cash.
Yeah. We were both pretty drunk, but I remember giving her the money. Since then, she has never brought it up. It's now been 2 months and I don't know how to ask for it back. We've been out multiple times since for food and drinks and we've always split any costs. Is it too late to ask for the money back?
Never.
No, so, but,
I think it is.
But what if she didn't? What if she was drunk?
What if she's
Give me a hangover.
What if she can't remember and she's like, I just remember like I would have done? Did I
Maybe
have
you
it?
actually didn't hand it to your friend, you handed it to the bar staff as a tip.
Oh my God. She might not. Well, okay, so that's one
I
element.
can't give an opinion because this would never happen to me. First of all, I won't go on a night out.
You're not qualified to answer this
Secondly, I
question.
don't have £100 to give in my current account.
What for?
No,
Yeah, I want to know what it was for.
bougie night out.
Yeah,
If it's food, I totally get it. Like,
no questions.
no, but just on a night out to give 100. Why would you do that? I would never be like, can you sub me £100 on the night there and then?
Yeah.
People just
Boys do that quite a lot though.
Yeah.
Like boys have expensive nights out.
yeah, they do. They're going to pay for all the girls.
Got to pay for
apparently.
something. We need some gender equality the other way around. Somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
We're hacking the system.
Yeah.
Look at us.
I'm paying £1 on a night out.
I think we definitely didn't ask if it actually happened.
Definitely. Did I give you £100 cash? It was
Let's
in my
workshop
wallet.
it. Let's workshop it. So,
Yeah.
did I?
Stand up. Come on, let's act it out.
So
It's the forensic.
I actually don't know.
Forensic accounting. So first,
Oh, yeah.
check that you had 100. So did you withdraw cash at any point?
I
Or
was
was
gonna
it
say,
from
go
work?
in
did you
bank.
get given anywhere? Did you get given £100?
Just check this because this could be really awkward if you've got this wrong.
First of all, you need to check your bank account, don't you? And be like, the date that you went out. It'll be like 3 a.m. Liverpool Lime Street, £100 cash.
Yeah, and then if you did, do you know, I've got a funny story actually. It's not about withdrawing cash, but when it's going to be an Ibiza story. So
Wayne. Is Wayne in it?
when my husband, because my husband used to, is from Lytham and like used to be close to Blackpool Airport, and it was really cheap to go to Ibiza. It was cheaper than Manchester.
From Blackpool?
Yes, it used to be like 20 quid.
Imagine that.
Like
Didn't
each
know
way.
Blackpool had an airport?
Does it anymore?
I mean, it's there. I'm not sure Jet2 go from there anymore. So they used to go, he's been to Ibiza a lot because actually, genuinely, it would be cheaper
That was the night
travel.
out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so they used to go a lot. And he tells this one story. So if you're any of his friends, you probably tell it much better than me or you know the actual details. But one of his friends took his card and paid for a Grey Goose, like a 2 litre, sparkly, big middle of the night thing. Didn't tell him. So like this vodka comes over and he's like,
That's theft.
wait, like
Stop.
like I'm making this up because I wasn't there. Yeah, he's like, this is great. Someone again wasn't there.
Best friend ever.
Who bought this? And then late the next morning, wakes up and there was like a phone call from like the bank and like was this like this transaction's gone through. We think it's like it wasn't me, fraud. So he reported it as fraud. And then they were like, we've got CCTV of you in the nightclub. Yes, it goes this deep. Did you drink the drink?
Oh my God, imagine working in the bank that day. I would have loved that. Having the best day.
How many times do they have to investigate stuff where it's like, I didn't buy that sensitive sock.
It wasn't me.
I didn't buy that rabbit
We have
hammock.
evidence of but yeah, so then eventually like one of
did
his
he address it with his
one of his
friend?
friends remember when it was I think
Conveniently
remembered
remembered
and
when
then
the
was
police stood
like
at the door.
and I think the friend paid him back like too
I-
good.
rightly.
But I know, but imagine if you were that. So I'm going to go on the other like it was a shame for my husband. He sorted it all out in the end because it was like over €1,000. Like it was a lot of money, €1,000. But imagine if you were that friend that was like, guess what I'm going to do? Going to steal your card for banter.
And the joke's on you because you're going to pay it back.
You've got us like a week's work.
Yeah, you could have at least been like, oh, come on, guys, there's 7 of us.
Yeah,
like,
we all enjoyed the vodka. Let's split it
because
up.
they did all
100
like
quid
the fact that he
each.
took it.
I know, but I like I said, ask him later. But there is a story about the bank checking that they were there, and he was like,
That's
"Were
so
you at
funny. Can we have the footage? Please.
Can we have the
Please.
CCTV?
Tops off.
So, yeah, sparklers.
Make it rain.
Yeah, I bet it wasn't even Grey Goose in it, was it? It was
You know what?
probably
I think
like a Spanish
that's
vodka.
better for him because he would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah,
It was actually free for
because he was gifted. He had a great time. He
You had
In
the
the
best
end.
night ever.
had a great time. Yeah. So,
Life at the
love that.
end.
but I guess my point is there's investigation, forensics needs to be done. Like, how can you look at and did I think I lent you 100 quid, or if you're confident about it, do you just say, do me have like, could I have that 100 when we go out this
They'll be
weekend?
like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
Well,
what?
yeah, that's the thing. She might not remember.
Oh, I
Which
call
I'm
bullshit
assuming-
on. I call bullshit when people
Some
like,
people black
I
out
just
though.
can't remember. Do they though?
Yeah.
Do
Do
they?
Yeah.
Do they conveniently black out when they
I
let
don't know.
borrow
I'm forgetful.
£100?
Like
and then remember every single detail of the best night of their lives, but then they black out on the
remember
100
the
quid.
Selective blackouts.
I blacked out on, I ate 6 chicken nuggets.
I
Blacked out.
hate
was
the feeling
vegetarian.
of owing someone money.
Yes.
So like that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
stress me out. Like
Oh, they might be mortified if they genuinely, I'm joking.
But they've been
might
out
not
for
remember.
drinks. They've been out for food. Out, so like they
I think
do
you've
have
got
some
to talk
money.
about it. Like
You've got to bring it up. You've got to bring up like even just saying if you're not completely sure that you did, because that cash might have not have even touched their bank.
Yeah.
They might have got it from
Well, they did
someone.
it. There was no friction. They didn't see it coming out their bank account, so they don't remember.
Exactly,
It was
yeah.
literally given in the hand and then spent straight away.
I think
You've
just
gotta
really
say.
be honest, be upfront, make a bit of a joke about
Yeah.
it. But like, I think I gave you £100 cash. And
Yeah.
like we had a great night. But
okay, and then she goes, "No, I didn't. No, you didn't."
you already
Or she goes, you had a great night on that £100 cash.
makes up a big story.
Actually, don't ask her, just leave the country.
Cash isn't real anyway. So at the end of the day,
It's fake money. What's wrong with you?
it's monopoly money.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
I'm stressed. Like the deer,
Be
I
Lucy and
hate.
stay in. Stop
Yeah.
going out
Yeah.
and having a good time.
That's your advice. Never have fun ever
Yeah.
again because
Keep
you're.
you €5 in your pocket. So this community. Oh, so this is actually about our community. This is like
Why?
a
What was this
community.
about?
This is a community win about the community.
Not like those were from a different community. Like,
This is from a different community. Well, I stole it.
I
okay.
love that this one is actually real.
This community really helps me keep focused
Okay,
on
I get
paying.
it now. Sorry.
Keeps me focused on paying off as much debt as possible. So much so that I've just paid £14,000 off my mortgage to bring my monthly costs down.
Whoa,
That's
the
mega.
mortgage.
Wait for this.
Bougie.
I've turned around £25,000 worth of credit card debt to a £14,000 overpayment on a mortgage in 4 years. I'm feeling so proud of myself, although it's tough to see my savings go down.
Yeah.
It's pretend. Don't worry. It's pretend. If it's going on the mortgage, it's still counts.
You'll
That's
reap the
incredible.
rewards.
That's
Incredible.
amazing. Why haven't I seen this?
She's
Send it to me now.
She's kept it under
You wanted my
wraps.
actual reaction. That's incredible. Wow. It's nice to get the mini wins, isn't it? And we get those a lot and people love sharing those.
But
Like
that's a big win.
that's a bougie big win. Big
Yeah.
life-changing win. But knocking that off your mortgage at the moment.
I love hearing people talk about mortgage overpayments because the big thing with a mortgage overpayment is it's such a slog. That's why like the debt snowball works so well, because it's little wins and we need those dopamine hits. We need that progress. The mortgage is like we've got, like ours is just about to get under a big figure. Do you know, like these like big round numbers?
Milestone.
And we actually decided we've never overpaid this mortgage. We invest instead, but it just was getting closer to that number that I was like, I want to get a different digit at the front. So we moved some money and overpaid it. And it was like we've not quite got it under the number, so we'll do it again next month. But it's such a slog. It's a big number, and you don't
delayed gratification.
It really is. That is the ultimate delay.
It is delayed gratification.
It's like you're going to hang around like that. 14 grand off your mortgage.
People don't celebrate enough when they go mortgage free, do they?
People don't go mortgage free. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I feel like when we were in our teens, I felt like families were starting to pay off mortgages.
but now they
very much
don't.
grandparents. I would. Imagine being mortgage free.
By the way, I was talking to my grandparents the other day, and they paid their house was £2,000.
Yeah,
I think.
are they mortgage
And
free?
they used to get like walk. Yeah, definitely enough.
Oh my God.
And my nanny was saying she got a water bill for £2 and she cried.
It's an inflation. It was probably
I know.
still a lot of money, but obviously the houses were a lot more affordable versus income back then. I think our nana paid like £64 or something for her house.
Yeah.
Nice little beautiful.
£64.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It was that long ago,
It's
obviously.
crazy,
Like
isn't it? Imagine that now. For hotels.
mortgage free, but what's that Monopoly?
Wait a minute, I've got £64.
Passes a house.
Sometimes a really random thing to do on Rightmove is like, what's the cheapest house you could buy? Have you ever done that?
Yeah,
where you
like-
go,
Yeah, it's not really
Lowest
burnt
to-
out and like full
It's
of
a
needles.
garage.
Like,
Yeah.
but
And the amount of times me and Alex have convinced ourselves, like, should we just buy that burnt house and like do it up and
do it up.
rent it out to students?
and like it's
Make it like
literally
10
falling
rooms.
down. But I think there's something that, like Amber said, it's the biggest purchase, it's the biggest debt, it's such a big number that even imagine putting 14 grand on it and going,
Didn't
I'll
really
just
like
go
move
about
the
my day.
needle that much.
But it
14
will,
grand.
but it will.
And it won't
Yeah.
it?
Will
It's
that make a big
number.
difference in monthly payments?
Capital, paying off the capital's the big.
Usually, so
Goal.
it will. So sometimes you have a fixed payment. Sometimes it brings down the payments. It depends how they structure the overpayment. And obviously, sometimes there's an overpayment penalty. So usually, you can overpay up to 10% of your outstanding balance. Always depends on the mortgage. So check obviously your terms.
Is that because
But
they still want you to pay interest?
it's because they have priced that mortgage. Like, let's all remember how like a really, really sickening thing to do is to look at your mortgage statements and look at how much of your mortgage payment goes to pay off your debt and how much is interest. And I don't like the term interest. I like bank fees. Because we all forget that interest is just, it's the interest. No. So
What does interest actually mean?
So interest is,
Why is it called interest?
I don't know why it's called interest, but it's their profit. Well, it's not their profit, it's their revenue. So I lend you 100 grand for a mortgage, and so we'll charge interest on it. And we just hear interest and go, and the interest is 5%, which is 5 grand. But that £5,000 is basically the bank's fees for lending you that money, because why should you get it for free? So you could have a mortgage payment that's like, let's pick round numbers, £1,000, and maybe 400 of it chips away at the debt, 600 could go to the bank every month. That's just going to them. It's not paying off the debt. And so when you can pay chunks off it, like the 14, you will bring your big total down, and then interest is calculated on what's left.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question, when we think about overpayment fees, it's because if like banks forecast that, okay, we'll lend you that, and then we're going to make across this term of 30 odd years, I mean, we'll look at it one episode. I think we'll look at it and I will show examples, because
I need a whiteboard.
Yeah.
we're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds that they will make across an average mortgage. Like, it's crazy. It's not tens of thousands, it's hundreds. It's almost as much as the loan itself usually, especially if it's over 30, 35 years. So because they forecast that, they don't want you to suddenly pay it off. The other thing about suddenly paying it off is you could just move it to a different bank. Yeah. So the way that they like restrict it is there's an early repayment charge, and it's still, if you've got the money, sometimes worth paying it off and cracking on. But that's why like 10% is kind of a rule. So our community member will hopefully see a reduction in mortgage payment, or absolutely a massive reduction in the amount of interest she's paying. And those chunks really make a difference. They also make a difference when, like, I've done it before with like a work bonus, and I've put it in my pension. And we did that around my second maternity leave, where I was really screwed over, just being the female, not by work necessarily, just that I wasn't having as much money going to pension, and got a bonus. And it was really hard at that time to take that bonus and whack it on my pension. Now I benefit from it when I see the compound interest, but at the time you're like,
it's been painful. All the things it could go towards.
Oh yeah,
I've seen a lot. We're talking about houses and paying off, making mortgage overpayments because of the interest rates are so shitty.
The high, you're making more.
I mean, my partner already thinking we're going to remortgage in 2026.
I know, they're so lucky. The timing of it,
we really locked in when everything started to get very spicy in the mortgage market. We're very lucky. But already planning for 2026, we don't know what the market's going to be like. Hopefully it'll be better. True. Everyone's saying it will be, hoping that might be the case. But in case it's not, and to start chipping away at the capital more so than the interest, we're going to start overpaying the mortgage. Just because when we remortgage,
we want it to be as low as possible.
We want it to be as low as possible.
Yeah, and at the moment, like I said, it's obviously we all continue to invest in our pensions, so we're still in the market. It's really important when you're investing that you keep doing it at the right rate. But so, like, usually you may have put extra money into the stock market right now, but actually, given you the stock market will increase 7 to 10% year on year on average, which means some years it could be 15, some years it could be 5. And so over a longer period of time, you get that growth. But the interesting thing about a mortgage payment is it's a guaranteed return. What I mean by that is, if your mortgage is like 5%, overpaying your mortgage is mathematically the equivalent of investing at 5% or getting a savings account. So if you get a savings account with a 5% rate and you've got a mortgage with a 5% rate, if you put £100 in one or £100 in the other, the mathematical impact is the same. It's different with investing because obviously you don't know, it could be up, could be down. And so if you are someone, and we generally don't like debt, we don't like the pressures it brings, we don't like the stresses, we love the idea of weight off our shoulders. So interestingly, with extra money that's lying around in your excess when you do your budget, it's a funny environment for people to go, actually, right now, as long as I've got my basic pensions kind of kicking over and I'm investing, I want to get that number down because I get a guaranteed return because it's definitely 5%. So
I feel like Laura's going to go on one of these journeys where she's going to be like, I'm going to pay the mortgage.
As soon as it
I can feel it the way she's talking about it.
Gets to certain numbers, you're just going to be like,
down.
right, that's it.
It's a long slog though. It's a big one. I know. Need some bonuses.
Better speak to the boss.
Who's in charge? Which man's in charge? Can't possibly be two females. Well done.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did well at the beginning. Went on a long mortgage rant.
Okay, dilemma number 2. I feel like this is a tough one to navigate. So we need some real help. Is my friend's girlfriend stealing his money? I have a friend who's always done really well for himself. He works very hard and earns a substantial 6-figure salary, around £150,000 a year. However, since he started seeing his girlfriend, he constantly complains that he's got no money, and I'm really concerned as he appears quite stressed. Meanwhile, despite having no stable income, his girlfriend has made some flash purchases in the last year, including a luxury camper van.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, nice handbag.
Yeah, she went
camper
big.
van. She told me she'd sold her BMW to buy the camper, but a few months later, she pulled up in the same BMW. Shady. The other day, my friend told me that he's sold his 3 properties, but is in tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt. He said he's looking forward to being able to do nice things again, like buying clothes and going on holiday, which made me feel so bad for him. I'm so concerned about his financial well-being, but I don't know how to bring this up. Any suggestions on how to approach this delicate situation? I'm so worried she might be taking advantage of his money.
This is like the behind the closed doors thing. I have so many questions. This is where like, can they come in? Can we get a cup of tea?
I need more info.
Because the questions coming to my mind are, does he still have that income? It sounds like it, because it doesn't sound like he's lost his job and it's difficult. Was he really poor at managing money? Because if you were in tens of thousands of debt and you had various properties, there's mortgage squeezes. We've just been talking about mortgage rates. So like, I do want to caveat whatever we say with, there's lots of stuff that like, what is he kind of doing and what was the situation? But
so the dilemma was a lot longer. That's been cut down, and they have still got that, high paying salary.
So they have.
Yeah.
What has happened to make
and he
them
says
lose so much control?
He's looking forward to be able to do nice things again. So he's clearly like going through something, and it says since he started seeing this girl, like things just seem to have gone downhill. He sold 3 properties.
Can you get in that much debt? Are we blaming the female for getting that? Like, are we thinking that she's the bad influence in this situation?
Well,
it
that
sounds
seems
like
to
it
be
from the dilemma.
Yeah,
This
'cause it
person
sounds
seems
like
like
it
it,
was
yeah.
fine, and then he
And
met
she's
this
lied
girl.
about selling her car.
Yeah. But he sold
To
3
his friend.
houses. How have you got, like you said, that's not cut and dry as in the females arrived and then suddenly, like
And
you have
she
to be a
doesn't
hell of a
have-
lot of debt to sell 3 houses and still
She
be
doesn't
in a lot
have
of
a
debt.
stable income either.
I'm gonna say that.
And they're not going on bougie holidays, but she's bought a camper.
They're going camping.
I need to know more.
It's definitely it's a really interesting one though, because it does feel like she has been the trigger. So if he has had a particular way of managing money and manage his life, like for example, poor man on a lot of money, suddenly struggles. I can imagine lots of people listen to this are going, he earns 150 grand a year, he should get his act together. And not to defend like that salary massively, but so much of that is tax that I promise you, he's not walking home with 10 grand and flashing the cash. And if he has been strategic but tight with his money, diverting it into properties, which is great, like for anyone, whenever you can do that and you can grow your wealth and grow your assets, it's admirable. But it does come with a certain level of not only stress, but responsibility to keep expenses tight. Because if you're deciding I am going to save up for deposits and then maintain these houses and then take mortgage products and stuff and become landlords, you are sacrificing that money for that rather than like loads of like excess in the budget for just disposable stuff. So if suddenly a spender has come into that environment and may know things like the salary and the properties and the kind of this like wealth, it's not as much wealth as you think because it's all tied up in places.
There might not have been that much disposable income to start with because, like you said, the restriction of giving this money out to
but it feels like it is. And so I think but this dilemma isn't from the boy, it's from the friend.
Yeah, he can see. They can see that he's quite stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think, how would you approach someone when you don't know the complete ins and outs?
Yeah.
Well, you can't go, first of all, you don't go accusing the girlfriend as in front of that person. You don't go in with is she taking advantage of you? You definitely go in with, is everything okay?
Go for
I've
coffee.
noticed that you're stressed.
100%.
Is it money that you're worried about? Like try and get to the bottom of it. Even though if you're seeing something that they're not, when it's like, it's the person that's come into the life that's causing the trouble. To go into it from that angle, your friend could just end up pushing you away.
Yeah, and you have to go into it judgment free because
definitely.
like I said, it's behind the closed doors, like none of us know. But like I feel like you're a really good friend because you've noticed comments about money, you've noticed stress in him.
Yeah, people don't talk about money, so to pick up on it.
Especially men.
Definitely.
Like I think, especially if, whether it's the male or the female or whatever your gender in the relationship, if you're taking the, I guess,
financial strain
and the provider, because it sounds like with an unstable income, in this scenario, he has been like holding down the fort. The responsibility's been with him. You're going to have to be quite careful speaking to him about it, but see if he'll open up because you will get to learn more about, and it might be, if let's, for argument's sake, say her spending is quite high. She thinks that there's like an unlimited pot of money. We can do this, we can do that. We're buying a camper van. I mean, like, just for anyone buying a camper van, unless you've got the cash for that camper van yourself, do not buy one. Rent one, play with it. They're loads of fun, but like,
they're a big commitment.
It's a Pinterest thing. Like, it's not real life. Like, we've all looked and gone, oh, I could have a shower outside the back of the van. But I've got friends that have them that are amazing, but they can, like, they've decided to get one and they can afford it. So like, side.
And it fits in with their lifestyle. People do it that, like, you know, they're never going to do it. And you're like,
Like, I'm riding a caravan. I'm like, have you ever been in one?
Have you ever slept on one?
Do you just want to renovate one like a girl on TikTok? But I feel like if that's the case, you need to support your friend to create some structure and some boundaries. And so boundaries around the budget. What's the budget? And what's to play with. And what I mean to play with is the disposable side. Yeah. So what is non-negotiables? This is for keeping a roof over our heads, making sure we've got the bills paid, making sure we've got like basic foods, saving up for things in the future, paying down debt if is kind of still struggling with debt. And then go,
this is the fun money.
This is the fun money. And but also get to a point where, are you comfortable supporting the lifestyle? Is there a reason she's got unstable income, and can he support her to bring in stable income? Because as we've talked about here, there's nothing wrong with like different levels of income earnings, but you've both got to come to the table and help, because ultimately it's just not going to last like as a solid relationship. It's not going to be pleasant he will resent her forever.
Sounds like the
money is
like
well. The biggest reason of breakups, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just because it's connected to so many things. Like, if you can get on the same page as your partner, and it's not a quick fix. Like, don't worry if you don't.
You have to put the work in.
Yeah, power dynamics as well, isn't it?
Yeah, especially if you're not the earner as well. Like, when I was on maternity leave, I always felt like, oh, would you mind if
Can
constantly
I go for a coffee?
Literally, but my husband never made me. He was like,
It was
oh,
you,
please
not
stop
him.
asking
You
me.
were the problem.
I was the problem. It's
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. It was. I was. And I know a lot of people on maternity leave in our community that the language that the females are writing in our group, and when we've had customer interviews with people,
Definitely.
You're carrying a child.
literally, it's your job. Like, it's not your job, but it's
They
shared
should
now,
be
isn't it?
apologetic.
But yeah. You should be. You should be sorry.
It should be tipped.
I want
Thanks
to be
for your
tipped.
service.
I changed that nappy. I would like a tip. I went to Aldi for nappies.
Get
I
an
deserve a
iPad,
tip.
swing it round.
Yeah.
You pay me.
But that is power dynamic, power struggle, power dynamic. And yeah, you have to be on the same page. I love that. Let's talk about fun money, because you're not going in with, let's talk about the budget.
You've got a spending problem, and
Let's
I'm
cut
paying
back.
for
And I
everything.
think
Like, no.
You can position it as
Gentle.
This is the fun budget now.
Yeah.
Because we've got shit to do.
And I think going back to the person who's written this in, their aim is to talk to their friend. I think being open about money, like, it's not normal to be open about money.
Nope.
Opening up yourself and like being a little bit vulnerable just really does actually create a space.
Yeah, it opens a
For
door
people
for
to be
them.
like, oh my God, yeah.
Thank God you said that,
And
'cause I'm
also
struggling
might
too.
actually make them realise that they might not know that it's the money that's stressing them out.
Yeah.
He might have a stressful job. He might be... He's just sold 3 properties. Properties. He's just sold 3 properties.
Playing Monopoly and he's stressed.
Yeah.
He's not.
He needs to get to Mayfair, but he's on Piccadilly Gardens. Is that high up?
What's that?
Piccadilly Gardens.
Park Lane's up there, but I don't know Piccadilly
I had
Gardens.
the Disney version,
brown
so
one.
101 Dalmatians was the prime real estate.
I played Wigan Monopoly before, and I don't think anything's up there with Park Lane. I'm not sure.
I'm on Premier League Monopoly and I bought Erling Haaland the other day.
Oh my God! I want to borrow that one. That's a
Flex.
good one. Oh,
You've done Dungeons and Dragons. I have no idea. That's
I couldn't pronounce
beyond.
anything on the thing with Monopoly as well. So I'm like a big fan. I am a fan of Monopoly. How long is that game?
Yeah.
Like
Too
The table's
long.
always getting flipped. There's always a family argument.
it just
My
goes on
granddad
forever.
absolutely annihilated me once, and he had me writing like IOUs. I was in so much debt. Like,
Swap the deck.
repayment plan. Like,
But the thing with Monopoly is there's like people think that you could, like it's just all about ability, but there's so much luck to it. Because I, in my defense, in my family was coming last by a long time, but I landed on nothing I could buy.
Yeah, that's true.
So like it
Couldn't invest.
it brings out your inner Donald Trump property mogul. I'm gonna buy, but I was like,
you need to start off with a small loan of $1 million, don't you? Like,
I need to land on something to buy
The
it.
key
And I
to
can't-
Monopoly, always be the banker.
Yeah.
yeah, because then you can steal.
Under the table.
well, now
That's why my 4-year-old always wins. I
Yeah.
get it now.
Well, that's why my husband, like, so what happened in the end is Carl was doing that well that me and the girls joint ventured and he still won. I gave my properties to Ava.
It's a man's world.
Partly because we were a bit bored because it went on that long. In fact, it went over 2 nights. And so
I'm like, can we wrap it up now? I'm done. I lose interest first.
I kept looking at the rules going, how does this game finish? Or we all have to go bankrupt and one person wins.
Is that how you finish? Has anyone ever finished a game of Monopoly? Is there an end?
No, I gave up. I gave my properties away. My properties were actually just like the equivalent of the stations.
Big game of Monopoly.
That's all I could land on. I never got an actual card.
Lucy's family still got it with cobwebs on it from 1999 because the game's
Oh my
still
God,
going strong.
this is Jumanji. Like, don't touch the board.
Yeah.
Well, back to our dilemma friend, who is, I think go for a coffee away from the partner.
Yeah.
Really, I think your point, Lucy, is so important. Show your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like, make it a really safe space, just like the
Don't
vote.
make it like an intervention, a big thing.
No.
Because they'll just push you away.
See if you can give them space to talk, because it'll give you more guidance, like more context to the guidance. And it does seem like it absolutely has been impacted by this partner, help them create structure and boundaries, like you said. Give space to spend and give space to have that fun. And if she offs and goes because she doesn't like a big budget, then she probably wasn't the person to hang around anyway.
See ya.
That's all for this episode. I'm going to close the vault. If you have any dilemmas, please send them to thevault@financielle.com. Just a quick disclaimer, the vault is just a chat around life and money topics, and we are not giving financial advice.